Hey, I am here and welcome to the channel. As you come in, please hit that like button. So today I wanted to talk about the divestment movement. This is basically a movement for Black women where Black women are supposed to put themselves first and remove themselves from the Black community, which is a community that doesn't really care about Black women and girls. In divestment, Black women are also supposed to work on themselves spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and so on. Black women are also supposed to learn how to be strategic and overall just learn how to move in life. In the end, Black women would cultivate their own type of community filled with some of their good family members and friends. So essentially, divestment was supposed to be about Black women putting themselves first and just living their best lives and staying safe. Originally, divestment had nothing to really do with men and more to do with focusing on Black women and how we can better ourselves and how we can survive in this society. So essentially, divestment started off really good, but I would say around 2019 or so. It really took a turn for the worse where it pretty much became white male worship. It became a movement where all Black women did was put white men on a pedestal and also constantly talked about Black men, when again it was supposed to have nothing to really do with men at all. Lots of these divestment channels started having men call into the show, but I can always tell that a lot of these men really didn't like Black women. You have some white men that would call into the show just to argue with Black men, and they really seem to enjoy using racial slurs. They clearly just wanted a space where they can say whatever they wanted and no one would really say anything. Well, at some point, some Black women who had smaller channels starting to get smart, they actually started asking these men if they were married to a Black woman or were they in a relationship with a Black woman? And mostly, you would find out that these men were not in relationships with Black women, had never been with a Black woman, and for sure wasn't currently with a Black woman. So it was at that time that some of these channels started to call them out, and they were in turn attacked by other Black women for telling the truth. Also, you had a lot of divestment channels that were fake and only talked about divestment so that they can get attention from Black men. From around 2018 to around 2023, divestment was very big online, and if you were a Black woman with a divestment channel, you would have Black men wanting to debate you. Now, some of these Black women were clearly Black women who probably didn't get much attention from Black men or any men for that matter, so they enjoyed going on these channels or having the men come on their channel and debate because it was giving them male attention. So we kind of already discussed what divestment was supposed to be about and what it became. We also already talked about how a lot of Black women were being fake divestors so that they can simply get attention from Black men. You still had many divestors that were on here bashing Black men all day, but they were either married or in relationships with Black men, which really makes no sense. Then also in a lot of these divested spaces, Black women actually got doxxed, meaning that their personal information was found out and posted by other Black women. There are a lot of mentally ill people on social media, so that's a very dangerous thing for Black women to do to each other. Overall, it seems as if divestment is pretty much over. It seems like it's ended. It became very embarrassing, especially again with the white male worship. You had so many Black women who started saying that you can't be divested unless you're in a relationship with the white guy, and that was never what it was supposed to be about. The funny thing is that a lot of these Black women would come and say how Black women need to interracially date, they need to go get a white man, but the white men were responding like this. Let's watch this clip. So that little clip was totally embarrassing. You have Black women coming out saying that Black women need to interracially date, and you had essentially white guys coming and saying no, they're not interested and they don't want you. When Black women would say stuff like that, it was embarrassing, and when other BW said we should focus on Black women not talking about men all day, they were called names and they were essentially pushed out of the divestment movement. So lots of these channels again are pretty much gone, or some of them are still up, but they don't post content anymore, and that's because this whole movement is done, it's ended. They really messed up by making it about interracial dating. That's what swirling is about. But one of the biggest ways that they messed up was by not gatekeeping it. There were so many mentally ill female black women in the spaces that should have never been in there at all. Because like I've stated before, females are obsessed with men because they never get male attention. Then you had lots of black women that were just upset with black men and they wanted to come and bash them all while still sleeping with them, which just makes no sense. So one of the very last divestment channels said that she will no longer be making content on this app or public content. She's going to be making everything behind the scenes. She's pretty much one of the last divestment channels, but now she's gone as well. So again, I think divestment failed because it didn't gatekeep and it didn't get black women who actually want to do better for themselves in the movement. It was marketed to all black women, and it should have never been marketed to all black women. Lots of these divestment channels said that they wanted to get black women away from black men, and the truth is a lot of black women are just obsessed with black men, especially your black women who are 40 and up. Personally, they should have focused on the black women who are maybe 18 to about 40 or 35, and just left the black women who were 40 and up out of the conversation. Instead, what it did was try to include all black women, and that just would have never worked. Also, some of the divestment channels started to use white supremacist talking points, and that also made a lot of black women leave the movement. You cannot escape your blackness no matter how hard you try. And many black women don't know how to navigate putting themselves and their womanhood first, yet still understanding that they're black and they can't escape that. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting how all the divestment channels are gone and it's pretty much ended and failed. Again, when you start any movement, it needs to be gate kept, and you can't make a movement where you're trying to save everyone because in the end it'll never work. So let me know what you think about this topic and let me know what you think about divestment. Thank you for watching. Bye.